beautiful people, it's Gray or Charan. I'd just like to explain my approach when a holistic approach, because it's the only way to do it really. Like, to heal means to become whole. So we have to reconnect those parts of us that have been disconnected in our nervous system, or maybe the imbalances that are not working as 100% as like we'd like to. So let's fix them. That's what I like to do for myself, friends and clients, and remarkable benefits. And how do I do it? Well, I like to use the Ayurvedic 5-element theory because it works perfectly in harmony with the body, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual, and of course wider universe effects. It is absolutely tremendous, and it provides really great clarity. So there's other videos and we can explain that. So, and what I like to do is, like, you take, this is going to be a general one. Obviously we will take into account an individual's imbalances and deal with them accordingly. And of course, this is what I've done for myself as well, inadvertently, before I actually knew about the 5-element theory, but just because of being connected in my body, and I did what my body told me, rather than, and with suggestions from friends and guides and things, but it's always listening to me. So, the earth element, which is our digestion and our excretion, absolutely vital to have this one pumping out as much as you possibly can. You know, 1 meal in, 1 meal out is ideal. If we're not at that, we need to get you to that. And then afterwards, we start fasting and, using some other techniques to see if we can improve it. And, how many meals a day do we actually need? Depends on the condition of the body. If you ask, normal people who haven't got much natural health knowledge, they'll say, some say once a week is their normal. Others, once every 3 days or once a day. We want faster than that, just to get that fire going. So what do I do that? I use coffee enemas, I use Shankar Prakshalas, herbal laxatives, salt flushes, these sorts of things to get rid of the gunk, because that's the low vibrational stuff, this heavy metals, parasites, fungus, and the low emotions and mind and mental stuff that's attached to that. We really just need to get rid of it, so for proper ascension. And of course, water element, that's essentially the genitals. And in Ayurveda we have a 3-step process, but Herbal Remedies, much like some of these ones, to deal with the water element, because we really want to be able to get our kidneys flowing and get rid of all that gunk that is associated with the fear that's stored in the kidneys emotionally. And what I like to do is purify the urinary tract and get that exit point clear. Because what I noticed in a lot of natural health, especially in the West, people will go, all right, we want to clean out the kidneys. Right, that's a great idea, we love that. Let's get the path clear so all the gunk can be pushed out first. Otherwise you're going to create more urinary tract infections and more menstrual problems and blockages. And look around in our society, there's lots of that sort of stuff with erectile dysfunction going on. Here's a few herbs, take those on, usually twice a day, and it fixes it quite quickly to a large degree, and then we can improve and keep getting better and better. So the fire element, oh yeah, lots of Ayurvedic herbs for this. Let's get that fire and digestion pumping. And again, that's why I like to do the earth element and some colon cleansing first, so we get that exit point clear. So then we can get that fire pumping, it's going out like a fire hydrant, essentially. It does happen sometimes, it's quite entertaining. The air element, that's essentially how we're breathing and how the oxygen flows throughout our body. This is what makes clearing out this section, the fire and the digestion, so valuable, because then that air can actually get down to the lower large intestine and then the lower organs and genitals as well. So our body has much more energy flow, much more oxygen flow, so we can get rid of that gunk. Because a lot of people, depending on where their imbalance is, they're cut off at certain points, so there's no oxygen or much blood flow going down there. Especially for people who have adrenal problems, they're just cut off there. The bottom section just doesn't get the attention it would like. And over time, years and decades, that really adds up to being big problems. So let's get that sorted, quick and easy. Breathing techniques, yoga. Bikram yoga is fantastic for that. Anything that's sweating, We need to sweat to get rid of these heavy metals and the toxins. And I've recently been reading that every 15 minutes of sweating is worth 24 hours of getting rid of kidney gunk. Yeah, that important. So a 90-minute Bikram yoga class is worth 6 days of getting rid of kidney gunk. Once or twice a week, is that worth considering and actioning? Or a near-infrared sauna, also wonderful. Okay, the ether element. The ether element is essentially the thyroid. I see it as the master controller. If that thyroid isn't working, the messages are not coming up here to the brain to say, hey, the body's got this to deal with. And then people are off balance because they're not able to do those activities or eat the foods or the herbs or the supplements that is right for their imbalance. And then it creates more imbalance because they're just continuing those unbeneficial habits. And hey, we've all done that. What I found is once I got the detoxification and the herbs and everything going, awakening the thyroid to quality function, everything got so much better. I started being in control and in tune with my body so much more rather than running, say, marathon or 100 kilometers and long distance races and things that were fantastic, but they weren't nurturing my body. So we like to, have a great balance, and it's absolutely ideal to do that. Also, chiropractic treatment or rolfing is amazing for that. I do recommend that depending on the tongue analysis of the individual and their imbalance. Absolutely essential. And of course, when we get to the higher centers, that's when we get to our meditation and our yoga practices and actually getting quality brain function, so we can get these elements from down below and how they translate up the top. So these receptors up here, because all of these senses are essentially sensing our wider environment and how we react in our body to our environment, both internal and external. So much alike with the as above, so below. As above, so below concept. As within, as without. So then we can have a harmonious balance between our own bodies, our subtle bodies, and then that of the wider universe. And how would that affect your life and improve the relationships between you and your family and your sphere of influence? By having essentially a whole lot of balance of your 5 elements. So that's like my approach, plus a whole lot of other natural health tips and techniques that I've found, and I like to share in retreats and with clients, not only from Ayurveda, but that's a fantastic basis to work from thousands of years of ancient wisdom. It's been working for ages and yugas and eons with incredible precision and absolutely wonderful philosophies, and the meaning of life really does teach us a lot of lessons. So hopefully that's provided some inspiration and some knowledge, and hopefully a greater connection between us, and I'd love to work with you. We love improving people and allowing them to get back into balance so that they can improve everyone else and spread that on. And isn't that the beautiful message that we're all here for? Yeah, I think so. Love your work.